If you're an anime fan, chances are you've heard of Jujutsu Kaisen. You're either a big fan of it, you're like 13 episodes in or however long, or you're somebody who hasn't started it but you're wondering what all the hype is about. If you don't know, people are comparing this anime to Demon Slayer, One Piece, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, the big guys, right? People are saying that this show is going to be the next big anime. We're currently 13 episodes into the story, and the first season is set to have 24 episodes. So this is the perfect time to jump in, but you may be wondering what makes it so special. So today we're gonna break down why Jujutsu Kaisen is different from other anime and what makes it so popular. If you haven't already subscribed to the Dr. Bonehead channel, consider doing so and leaving a like if you want more anime content just like this. We're almost at 40K subscribers, which is bonkers and insane, and we're on the road to 100,000 by the end of the year, so if we can make that happen, that'd be super awesome. The first standout theme of this show that definitely sets it apart from its contemporaries is the dark themes surrounding the show. Everybody I've talked to mentions this first thing. The dark nature of Jujutsu Kaisen is very much unlike other shonen anime. There's no friendship tropes or people getting saved by BS reasons or anything. People just straight up die in this show, whether you're a major character or a bunch of random civilians in a random shop, right? People just die. So it's pretty dark in that regard, and even the fact that these characters have to resort to using curses to eliminate curses, right? They're accepting the evil, quote unquote, or the darkness around them, and for some characters even inside of them. The author, the creators of the anime, they do a great job of integrating dark themes with sometimes a fun setting as well, which goes into my next point here. Jujutsu Kaisen is also popular because of its humor, so it may seem like a stark contrast to what we just talked about with the dark themes, but the humor of Jujutsu Kaisen flows so well with the darkness and the dark themes of the show. It's honestly amazing. I still don't know how they quite do it, but it's executed perfectly. So, a big thing about the humor is they take the cliches from shonen and anime and use it for comedy instead of trying to just reuse what everybody else does. They save all the cliches for the comedy, which lands like every single time, which is great. They know exactly when to execute it, but the humor also just flows with the dark themes. So, if 90% of the episode is dark, there's still some fun times, there's still some jokes here and there, but all while keeping in mind that the show is still dark. Like, it doesn't take you out of it in any way, it's executed perfectly. Another reason why people love Jujutsu Kaisen so much are the characters. The characters in this show may seem cliche at first, but they are actually multidimensional in a lot of different ways. They all have interesting backstories, interesting powers, and interesting designs, but they also have real personalities and real change and growth. And all of them, right off the get-go, you can tell all of them have their own unique struggles, and they're trying to figure out who they want to be and come to terms with X amount of thing, death or their past or their family, whatever. They all are changing, and they all feel real because of it. Sometimes they're fun and they make jokes, but then they turn around and you realize, wait, they're actually hiding something. The dark feeling of the show stays, regardless of any kind of humor or fun side you get to see every now and then. So ultimately, the characters, great designs, great and unique abilities, and also just showcasing how a character that can seem like an anime trope can still have a multifaceted personality, and the show handles that wonderfully. Jujutsu Kaisen is also extremely popular because it subverts expectations through storytelling. So in a show like this, you would expect, okay, someone's in trouble, they go in, they save the person, they get out, they learn a new ability, whatever, they bond with their friends. This show has none of that. If they have to go in and save someone, you can expect that they're either not gonna save the person, or one of them's gonna die, or they're gonna lose a limb or something. It's crazy. You can never expect or predict what's going to happen. You're always on the edge of your seat through the storytelling. If you meet a new character, you don't know if that character is gonna stick around. Like, they could die here soon, so you don't want to get too attached, but at the same time, their character is so well written that you can't help but feel attached. So the story is fantastic. It's also just, you continuing with the story, there's no gaps, there's no filler or anything like that. The show consistently goes to the next story and the next bit and the next arc and the next plot. it's constantly moving, constantly changing and shifting. You know, there's fun times here and there, but it's so brief and it's in the middle of what's happening in the story that you're never bored. This show is constantly moving. The fights in this show are also phenomenal. This is one of the main reasons why people watch shonen anime typically, and this is a big one. You know, the fights in this show are fantastically animated by Studio Mappa. Gotta love Studio Mappa, right? And the choreography itself is just very creative. The use of the abilities that have already been established is handled and executed great. There's nothing BS about the way that a character wins in a fight, or the way that this ability is introduced. It all makes sense, and they're already established. These rules and these concepts and this world building has already been established. So when you combine that with the choreography, the fight scenes, you know, and just the way that the story meshes with the fights, it all makes sense. So the fights are definitely a big reason as well. This may seem like an interesting one, but I'm seeing a lot of people talk about this, and that is that the villains in Jujutsu Kaisen are not relatable. Now, this may seem weird, like you want your villains to seem like people, right? Well, this show is all about curses and monsters, and these things that may seem human are actually just evil beings, you know, they're curses, right? So the fact that this show is mostly about good and evil is honestly refreshing. It's nice to see a show where not every single villain is made out to be someone who's misunderstood and they just had a tragic past, you know? Sometimes the villain is just a piece of garbage and you want them to die because they killed a bunch of people, right? And that's kind of nice, you know? And that's not to say that no villains are relatable at all, but it's nice to see a story where there's good and evil, and yet there's still this massive struggle between that good and evil. Like, there's something very refreshing about that. And just continuing on with the villains, they've all got great designs as well. Some of them look kind of goofy, some of them look human, some of them do different things, and there's entire arcs and episodes revolving around what they do, and they're intimidating. Sometimes they just wipe out like a whole plaza of people, and you're like, okay, what's going on here, you know? This is insane. So these villains are great, and that's definitely a reason why you should watch as well. And finally, the final reason why Jujutsu Kaisen is so popular, and easily the biggest reason, is Gojo. That's all I'm gonna say. It's Gojo. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Obviously, Jujutsu Kaisen is popular for hundreds of reasons. This show is hype, and the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the more I start to fall in love with this show. I can tell it's going to be the next big shonen for sure. It already is, right? So I'm very hyped for when the episode comes back, the series comes back in a couple weeks here. But until then, thanks a lot for watching. Again, leave a like if you enjoyed. I'm gonna try to make more anime content just like this going into the future, so stick around for that if that's what you wanna see. But until then, I'll see you guys in my next Jujutsu Kaisen video. Take care, everybody.